Okay, let's go to strongman or powerlifting. And I don't know what entail the question is. It just says strongman or powerlifting.
Both.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what my workout plan is right now is 2 days I'm maxing out lower and upper for powerlifting, and then I'm doing cardio-based stuff for strongman.
So I have always said, and I'm never backing down from the comment, I've always said that strongman to me is the ultimate sport. Mm-hmm. I feel that it has the I feel that it has the side of CrossFit-ish type stuff. You got to be agile. You got to be mobile. You got to have endurance.
Yeah.
And then you tie in the facets from powerlifting to be strong, because you have the static strength stuff, the deadlifts, the squats, the presses.
Yeah.
Stones are static. Now stone carries, obviously those are now dynamic. That changes up. Yeah. But I ultimately feel if I had to pick one of those, regardless of the individual, I'd say strongman.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're going to see powerlifting moves inside that sport, and you're also going to see athletic movements inside that sport, what I call dynamic movements, yokes and farmers and runs and medleys and things like that. But yeah, I think that powerlifting can be great for a strongman. Obviously, you got to be strong.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that strongman style training with the medleys and stuff could be great for a powerlifter within reason. Mm-hmm. When we start talking about like GPP and stuff like that, I just wrote up a guy today to do some yoke walks. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got about 45-second walks, travel as far as he can. You know, he's got some trips with that. Things that I've done with you, sandbag carries. Yeah. You know, how long and far can you carry a sandbag for? You know, and I tie those in on your dynamic effort lower and upper days, just more of the endurance style stuff, you know. The movements that precede aren't typically heavy. They may be god awful just because of the sets and the reps and the rest periods.
Yeah.
But the ideas behind those, the weights are lighter, and I want you moving, you know, a little quicker and things like that. And so that's why I put your strongman movements in on your dynamic effort days. Right. Also because, and depending on the nature of the weight, like, you know, if it was a yoke walk after a heavy squat, I don't really see, it would have to be really light just because we just murdered your body with the squat. And when I say murdered, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
TikTok will, you know.
TikTok will take that down.
Your movements on max effort day are literally typically what I do with you guys. 1 rep maxes, 2 rep maxes. You raw guys, I take up to 5s, which isn't traditional West Side. Right. You know, West Side is all about that 1 rep max and grinding and 90% shit like that. But anyway, I mingle the two with you, A, because that's what you wanted, B, because I'm making you the ultimate overall athlete. Right. I'm making you strong. I'm making you fast. I'm making you agile. I'm making you mobile. I'm giving you endurance, things like that, you know. So that would be my, I guess my
the thing
my
with
answer. I don't even know how to answer. What
I don't really know either, but the thing of that the reason why I love strongman is because it is that full athletic ability, and it also, I feel like having these mobility workouts and having to do yoke walks and, you know, Atlas stones, it forces my body to be strong in places that will then help my squat, bench, and deadlift. Because with squat, bench, and dead, while yes, they make you stronger and they make your entire body stronger, there are certain muscles that are used more in those lifts. When it comes to picking up an Atlas stone and farmer's carries and, you know, sandbag carries, all of that sort of stuff, you are off balance. You have to adjust, and you're using muscles that you otherwise aren't using when you're just doing static lifts. And so that's why I love throwing in strongman stuff. And plus the implements are cool. Like you've
heard me say, like all the yoke runs that I've ever done with either my old partner Jason, I've done with Ray, I've done with Alan. I personally feel that a lot of that is what carried over to me being able to squat a lot more quicker.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was getting into it, like 1,000 was what people wanted. Like they were striving to get to 1,000.
Right.
And, I got there very quickly under, the tutelage of two great people, that knew their shit. One that's still with me to this day. But I feel like, when I had to go pick up a grand, I was like, okay, like now I just got to squat it. Picking it was easy.
Right.
Like I just ran this for 60 feet, Now all I got to do is just stand here and squat it. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not making it sound like it was that easy. Like obviously I had to learn how to squat, use the briefs and the suit.
Right.
But the weight was like, okay, I've done this. I've ran
My
this.
body is used to this.
Yes. And
Which
to have
that's
the
the
stability
biggest
to be able to
change.
move 1,000 in a straight path.
Huge.
Now all I got to do is stand here, So
yeah,
I honestly feel that a lot of my strongman training through the years with multiple training partners carried over to what I do now, to make me a bit of a better static lifter.
Yeah,
because powerlifting, let's just call it what it is. They're just static. You're literally, you stand there, lay there, stand there again. That's powerlifting.
Yeah.
I think it's all the other movements, that make me better at those movements obviously the accessories.
Right.
But like what you just said, so if it's strongman, if the question is, would I choose strongman? Well, what do you want to be? You want to be a strongman? Then I'm going to tell you strongman.
Right.
If it's to be a powerlifter inside that question you first asked me, then I would say strongman. I feel that strongman could carry over better to you being a powerlifter just because of the strength dynamic.
Yeah.
But also because of the movement dynamic inside that sport. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I feel that powerlifting gets so it gets made so boring because everybody just thinks it's squat, bench, and deadlift. And while that is what we do on Sundays is squat and deadlift, and while that's what we do on Wednesdays, you and I will get in there. We do the shoulder presses, we do the laterals, we do the upright rows, we do the pull-ups, the ring rows, the planks, the kettlebell work. We do the sled pushes and pulls, and we do the ropes and things that work up our cardiac capacity, which can be found now in strongman. And guess what? Now we're moving stones and sandbags and Husafels and farmers and trap bars and frames, and we're having fun with it. So I guess once again, my answer would be strongman.
Yeah. Goes to show we're just two strong men doing strongman things. Well, we have been talking for a long time. I think that I'll probably end up splitting up the Q&A into two segments. But with that being said, I do kind of want to talk about what we're doing training wise, because it's been a while. I know you have kind of been like a little up in the air of what you've been wanting to do. How has training been for you?
So I've mentioned in the past, and if there's people out there that fall into this, hit me up. Like, let me know how you dealt with it. We all go through nicks and bangs and bruises and bumps and shit like that, and they're just part of the course. Like you have people that are like, oh, I got another bruise, I'm done. I'm like, yeah, bruise. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, but hey, what a bruise feels like to you, could be the worst thing that's ever happened in your life. And if that's it, if the bruise is the worst thing in your life, like, Jesus, man, like, go live a little.
Oh, goodness.
But I was going through just consistent pains in my knees that shit wasn't fun. And so while it wasn't fun, I was like, what am I doing? And I go to the massage therapist, I get the cups, I get the deep tissue, I get the mobility, ice and heat and stretches and moves, and it just like, and the layoffs, and shit just wasn't fun. So it was eating away at me. It was really, really causing a dent in my emotions. And so I just didn't squat or deadlift. I was like, fuck this, and I would get to the point where I didn't lift, but I would go up there and still coach. And I was like, man, I'm loving this portion of it. Now because I'm not lifting and I'm not hurt and I don't feel the pains, like my mood was elevating. You know what I mean?
Good.
And watching, being able to spend more time on the coaching aspect and pick things apart that I saw to make you better, and having more time for that made me feel better too. So it wasn't a getting rid of this life. It was like, because I still had that desire and that fire to coach. It was, trying to find out like, hey, like, what can I do to to not feel this constant pain that just is not fun. And I say that like to people that have been through it, like there's pains that we just deal with, and like, oh, I'll deal with it. I got to go bench with Austin tonight. But then it was like, no, dude, I need my knees for everything. So deadlifting constantly hurt, squatting obviously hurt, benching would hurt. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just done for a little while. Yeah, type of thing. But so not to keep talking on that, squatted this past Saturday. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a heavy barbell on my back since the meet that we did up there at Perfect Storm, and worked up to 875. No knee pain.
Really?
None. Like I was, I've been doing my backwards walks on the treadmill and the sleds. Shelly and Danny, they've both been helping me out with that. Xavier's been taking care of me with the massage. Yeah. And so the first pain-free squat that I've had in fucking months. Yeah. And I was like, this is amazing. So it felt good. You know what I'm saying? That was a good day to have. And
sometimes you gotta take that break. Like there was right before I moved, I was having tons of shoulder pain with bench pressing, and you and I worked really hard to try and figure out what it was. And I did the lacrosse ball underneath the scapular. I was like every massage gunning my pec, and like I was trying everything. And
I was throwing bamboo bar at you, name a rear delt movement.
Everything.
Rolling movement, foam rollers, thread the needles. I was throwing everything at you.
And nothing was getting rid of it. Like it would go away a little bit as I warmed up, but then it would be right back where it was. And so taking a couple weeks where I really didn't do any lifting, taking those couple weeks, the shoulder pain's gone. Like my body had time to figure its shit out. And now I'm back to, I'm ripping 375, 385 on bench press now. And it feels so good. It feels amazing that I just needed to actually let my body figure itself out.
So there's a ton of things that I hear inside of this, and it just so happened to be that rest off of certain movements is what helped you. Mm-hmm. Rest off from certain movements, while doing other stuff. So everybody, they kind of misconstrue this when they're told to rest, and they think I'm going to stop everything.
Right.
And I personally feel that that's horrible. Mm-hmm. We'll just say your left shoulder as an example.
Sure.
While your left shoulder is bothering you, you still got a right shoulder. You still got a right side. Yeah. That we can be working on unilateral movements. So we'll take out the barbell movements, obviously, because we need two hands for those.
Right.
But most people just be like, well, my left shoulder hurts. I'm going to stop life. All right. Well, guy, you can still squat, you can still lunge and step up and do lower body movements. Deadlifting and squatting a little different because of the way that the hands have got to go. Mm-hmm. Maybe the pull from the deadlift hurts the shoulder. Maybe to get your arm back on the squat bothers you. So that I understand, but we now have other variations as well.
You know what might have changed it? I didn't even put two and two together. You know what might have changed it? We spent so much time fixing my deadlift form. Like changing how I set up and how I went. It's possible that might have actually been the thing that was.
I'm not going to say that it didn't, because when we start talking about shoulders, and the deadlift, we start talking about lats, we start talking about positioning, right? We start talking about the way that the upper back has to be. We strengthen the upper back, and sometimes just that. And that's why I was saying, we did all those accessories on your backside. But maybe even through the deadlifting stuff, while we didn't press, we did a lot of rowing, we did a lot of pulling, and those movements didn't bother you. Now the next person is different. Maybe the rowing movements do bother them, so we take those out. But we still had you moving. We didn't just say, "Hey, my left shoulder hurts. Go be bedridden."
Right.
We still had you squat. We still had you pull. We still had you do other things, and found movements that didn't bother you.
Right.
That way we still had you in the gym and still working towards your goals and stuff. But there's a lot of people out there like, nope, left shoulder hurts. I'm quitting my job. I'm selling my kids. I'm moving. I'm going to go in an RV. Fuck this. I'm going to the mountains till my shoulder stops hurting.
In a van down by the river.
Yeah. Yeah. I know those people. And I'm just like, well, you have a whole nother side. You have a whole lower body.
Right.
So, and that was fine. When upper body movements didn't bother me, but leg extensions hurt, leg presses hurt, showing you how to do a lunge hurt, walking hurt, You know, so
Oof.
those things, playing with my children, so like those running outside hurt. I couldn't even run.
Yeah.
Those movements. So like while I'm telling you, let's find things, dude, I was finding dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like nothing. So then I kept going up to Joe, and I was like, dude, I won't squat, but I could do leg curl movements, I could do hamstring movements, I could do good morning movements, I could do RDL movements, belt squat movements, but I couldn't squat. Anything that involved bending the knees, I'm out.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of glute stuff, we did a lot of hamstring stuff, and
Yeah.
that was my lower body work for the last, since the meet, you know, until this Saturday, you know, just getting under the barbell.
Yeah.
And who knows? Was it the time off from knee bending movements? Was it the time to build the glutes and the hams?
Maybe.
Was it a combination of both? I don't know.
Maybe.
Could be. All I know was that, you know, the knee bending movements bothered me, so I did not do them. I just, you know, and so what I was getting at, like, I had to show a client how to do a lunge, but it would hurt. Yeah. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, walking would hurt. And I'm like, these are fucking everyday activities, and they're taken away from certain aspects of life, and this just fucking sucks. So that was fucking with my head and, you know, a bunch of shit. So yeah, to have a good squat Saturday definitely was, it was a good thing. It was a good thing to finally have, you know, and feel
good.
I felt like my old self, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah.
How's your, I write it for you, but you don't ever like tell me what we do. Unless I see a random Instagram post.
I am the worst about that because I do everything that you write for me, but in my head I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna. It's work, so I just go to work, I do my job, and I leave. You know, so that's. But when it comes to squat, has been rough. Not having the mono and not having a crew to squat with has really fucked with me. Like that's the one that I can tell has dropped off. I like attempted. I had reverse bands like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I put 515. Yeah, I put 515 on because 475 or 485 I smoked it with reverse bands, and so I was like, oh, I'll just I'll throw 25 on. No big deal. And I stood up and I walked back, and in my head all I could think was, there's no one here to catch me. And like I went down, I had the arms there, I went down, I started to come back up, and I started to struggle and went, there's no one here to catch me, this is going everywhere. And I as lightly as humanly possible put it on the rack, which is so weird because very clearly I have the capability to do that with reverse bands, and I can control the weight safely on my own, but not having people on either side, someone behind me, it just messed with me. It was something that I haven't experienced, and I don't like walking out the squat. That's one thing that I am not a fan of. Oh gosh, Alan, I've lost your
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
That's fine. We can talk through it. But so with that, like that's a big change that I gotta go through. So the squat sucks. But my bench has continued to go up, and my deadlift has continued to go up. I shared a Instagram post or a TikTok where right before I left, I hit a deadlift PR at 470 pounds, and it felt like every vertebrae like was rounded and then straightened out slowly on the way up. And then I did a deadlift, I think it was a week ago, and I pulled 475, and it was smooth. It was hard, but it was smooth. I think I've lost him. Oh. I lost you for a second. Are you back? Oh.
Hello?
There you are.
So apparently I'm just going to be this dot. And when I speak, it looks like my circle is just going to do this thing. We made it this whole time.
Yeah, without an issue, and now all of a sudden we just have speaking.
I'm just a blurb. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh,
right, but at least you can hear
I'm impressed, though. We've made it a long way. I can hear you. I hear you perfectly clear. But so my deadlift has been going up, and my bench press has continued to go up, and it's because I don't really need to depend on anyone with those. But I have now found a guy that knows powerlifting, and his name's Andrew. He's awesome, and so he and I are going to start squatting together on Mondays, and I think that's going to kind of change that mentality for me. He and I were messing around with the log press a couple weekends ago, and it's so funny. He has a similar. He talks a lot about how his ratios are terrible because he's got like a 500 squat, like a 485. Oh no, he's gone again.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. It just said your device got disconnected, and so I had to add you back.
This fucking pisses me off. I obviously can hear you say everything. You've heard me talk before about the squat and call it pretty much a penitentiary style lift. And
yeah,
I don't employ it every single time, but there are days that I've gone in on my own and you hit a max and you walk up to that bar and you're like, fuck man, I don't think I've got this. And you get it.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, your mind, adrenaline, fight or flight, all that type stuff,
Yeah. It kicks in.
Just kicks in. And it can be a very taxing time. So while there is that, that's why I don't employ it as often. There's other days I just say, hey, this is what I've done for one. Let me do 1% of that and, hit reps and stuff, which I've given you. Then there's days I'm like, hey man, like what I've done for 3, let me see if I can just do that for 1 today and just see how things are going, Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And reverse bands can, the reason we've done that in the past and still do it, whether you call it the reverse bands or the future method or the lightened method, is to give you confidence that, hey, in the future, I can move this. I feel this. It helps me out of the bucket and I accept the weight back on at the top of the move. Okay. You start to get confident at that weight, with that band setup and stuff like that. So yeah, another overload method. Now I heard you mention the pins and stuff like that you have. So sometimes something that we do, we'll set those pins up. And if I don't got it, hey, the safety of the pins has helped me. Mm-hmm. Something else I also heard is straight up an Anderson squat. We squat the weight from the bottom up. Yeah. And now the safety portion. Now here's the thing. There's two sides of this. The safety portion is hit as far as the pins being there for my squat. Now we also got to talk about bringing back the Valsalva maneuver, the breathing, the bracing, being in the proper position, because I can fuck myself up on an Anderson squat if I'm not braced possibly the right way, if I'm not in the right position and all that type of stuff. So I can get hurt on an Anderson squat the same way I can on a light pause squat or a 1 max Duffalo squat, things like that. So there's that as well. Yeah, absolutely. So Andrew and I are going to squat today, and we're also planning him and I are going to go to, is it St. Louis or Kansas City? Dan Bell. It's a big powerlifting meet in the Midwest. It's not the Clash, maybe the Challenge. I don't know.
I can't remember, but Dan's competing at it. And he's one of the only people at the gym who knows who Dan Bell is. And because he was like, hey, I saw on your TikTok that Dan Bell. And I was like, yeah, I've got his number in my phone. He went, no way. Oh, and started freaking out.
That's great.
So, that's how I make friends, is I have famous friends that they know. So, but yeah, other than that, bench and deadlift are good. I did stones so heavy that blood vessels popped in my eyes and I looked really high. So that was fun.
Those are always fun.
Yeah. We put it on TikTok, which we're at 10,000 followers on TikTok.
I remember you telling me a couple weeks ago that you and Liz had finally hit that.
Yep. We finally hit it. And to celebrate, Liz ran a 10K. And I am had plans the rest of the weekends. This upcoming It's all about the number thing. I don't know. It's stupid. But I'm going to eat 10,000 calories in a day.
I want to see if you can do this.
I'm really curious to see if I can. I've got kind of a plan in my head, and I can't decide if it's a good one or not. I'm just going to go to the frozen section of Hy-Vee, which is like Publix down there, and get like just family-sized portions of stuff and just try and just power through as much as I can. It's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be like, ooh, I'm eating just like Brian Shaw. No, it's going to be gross, and it's going to be 10,000 calories.
Yeah, you're gonna have to chronicle this, vlog it, whatever.
Yep, I'm gonna TikTok it, and I plan on going live on TikTok every meal that I eat, so that way people can watch it as it goes. So, but we'll see how it goes.
This is gonna be interesting. I want to see if you can hit 10. Izzy years ago used to have me on 7,000 to 8,000, trying to get my weight back up from a weight cut that I did, and I wasn't putting weight on.
Really?
And just, dude, 7,000 to 8,000 calories a day for 3-4 weeks.
Ooh.
And I don't think I hit my calories one time.
I'm sure. That's tough.
It was ridiculous.
That is tough.
It was painful. It was a struggle. I still like that my side of the screen is just moving to my voice.
Just bouncing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
at least we can hear me.
Exactly. Well, with that, let's wrap it up. I've got some stuff to do, including selling things in central Nebraska. So if you want to be on the radio in central Nebraska, hit me up. But this has been the Stache Beard Show. You can find us wherever podcasts are found and on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I'm Austin Pistulka, at Actually Average on TikTok, and at Radio Guy Austin on Twitter and Instagram. Alan, who are you and where can they find you?
I'm at Alan Pilley on Instagram, at Strongman Movers LLC, at Lady Juice Beard Oil, and at CTX Barbell, all on Instagram.
That's right, and, because fuck Facebook.
Yeah, I don't hardly ever go on there.
So. I'm on there because in Nebraska, everyone's got a Facebook, and there's so many people that don't have Instagram. I'm like, what are you doing? There's a way better platform out there.
Yeah. Well, the two are owned by the same. Facebook. So yeah, I don't know why you have one and not the other, but
doesn't make any damn sense to me. Anyway, that does it. I'm just glad we got an
episode finally in. Sorry to our viewers for our split screen issues. I really hope this shows up on YouTube.
Oh yeah. If you just listen to the podcast, you can't tell. But if you watch it on YouTube, then this is exactly how it's
This is going to be great.
This is going to be good. 10 out of 10.
Maybe you can Photoshop my head.
I am the king of Photoshopping your head. Dale asks me about once a month to Photoshop your face onto something. So I think I'll be able to find a way.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
All right, man. Thanks so much. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. This is the Stache Beard Show. See y'all.
Later, motherfuckers.